Hello again. In our last two lectures we talked about PGP, what it is, and some of the services that it provides. Let's finish talking about PGP in this lecture. So recall that PGP offers 5 services to the user: authentication, confidentiality. We talked about those two in the last lecture. The other 3 services are compression, email compatibility, and segmentation. And those are not things that the user typically cares much about, but they're there to make it a well-engineered system which can be used widely on a variety of different systems. Okay, so what's compression? Well, it just means compressing a message using a zip algorithm or something like that. And why is it done? Well, it's done to save bandwidth on because these messages are being sent over the internet. We want to make them as small as possible. Compression is typically done after applying the signature to the message and before the encryption of the message. And it's good to do it in that order because you don't want the signature to depend upon the compression algorithm. You want to sign the original message, and then so you do the encryption last. Okay, how about email compatibility? Well, it's the case that a lot of different mailers have different control characters to which they respond. So for example, you might generate a message and have in it an arbitrary command sequence that that your printer, say, or your mailer interprets as a line feed or a form feed or something like that. And so what PGP does is it makes sure that there are no sort of anomalous characters in the message by doing a certain transformation on it, which is called a radix 64 transformation. And what happens is it takes a standard set of 3 octets, which is 24 bits, and turns it into 4 ASCII characters. So it expands 3 octets, or 3 bytes, into 4 bytes. And the result is that everything in the message is going to be an ASCII character, and every mailer in the world can handle ASCII. And so you don't have to worry about there being arbitrary, binary strings in there that may be interpreted weirdly by your system, whatever it happens to be. Now, it's true that that expands the message, but remember that we're also doing compression, and the compression tends to more than compensate for that. The final piece of this is that some mailers have a certain limit on the size of messages that they can send. And so what PGP does is it breaks the message into segments. First of all, it puts the header and the tail onto the message, and does all the compression and everything. And then it breaks it into pieces which are known to be of a size which all mailers generally can handle. And then it sends those, and so no mailer along the way will complain that this message is too long. And then at the end it reassembles them. Okay, so the point of these 3 services that we've talked about today, which is segmentation, email compatibility, and compression, is not anything that you as a user probably care much about. I mean, you care that your message is authenticated and is confidential. But on the other hand, these are important services because they guarantee that PGP works on a number of systems, and you're unlikely to have compatibility problems between your PGP signed email message, say, and somebody else's server. And that's a good thing. That's a good engineering discipline to follow. Thanks.